Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kim and today we're going through my April wrap up. So in April I participated in one readathon and that was the Magical Readathon hosted by G over at Book Roast. I will leave a link to her channel down below. I love this readathon. We create our own characters, we take our own characters to school and take part in different classes depending on what we want our calling to be. And I love this readathon. I always participate and I always have fun and I always read a lot during this readathon. So yeah, my character is Runica. She is an Iltyrian and she is learning to be a Dreamwalker. So I had quite a few classes, but I passed them all. Some stats for April: I managed to read 17 books. I managed to read 6,012 pages. That averages out to 200 pages per day. It's always magical. It's always magical, and being at Aurelium, that makes me read a lot of books. As for ratings this month, I gave out 3 2 stars, 6 3 stars, 2 4 stars, and I had 6 5-star reads this month. Pretty good month. So should we get into what I actually read this month? Let's do it. So the first book that I read this month was Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. This was for Psionics and Divination and I gave it 5 stars. I absolutely loved this book. I loved that it was a blend of ballet and a blend of American football. It was really good. So yeah, 5 stars. The next book that I read was for the Rory Gilmore Book Club. It was this month to read a classic book, and we know that I do not get along with classics. I also managed to get this on for spells and incantations. So for this I read Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury, and despite it being a classic, I really enjoyed this one. This was all about discovering the joy of books, and as a bookie, you got love books. So for me, it did get 4 stars. The next one that I read was for my In Real Life book club, and we have decided to start reading the Harlan Coben books. This was also for Art of Illusion class, and for this I read Play Dead by Harlan Coben. It's the first one. So we're on a long road to complete all the Harlan Coben books, but we have begun. This I loved. I love this guy's writing. I love the twists, the turns. You don't see that things are coming. I really enjoyed this. 5 stars. The next book that I read this month was the First Law Along book. We are doing First Law Along with Becca from Becca in the Books. Again, I will leave a link to her channel down below. We are going through all of the books in the First Law universe and we are now beginning on the second trilogy. So I also managed to get this for a little bit of extra credit. This wasn't part of my calling, but I managed to get it on for animal studies. So it was A Little Hatred by Joe Abercrombie. For me, this wasn't as strong as maybe the first trilogy started out, so it did only get 3 stars. The next book that I read was the Buzzword book for this month. It was to read books with nature words in the title. I also managed to get this on for Conjuration class. It was The Dirt by Motley Crue. I had high hopes for this one. I do enjoy Motley Crue. They're not like a go-to band, but I do enjoy Motley Crue. I absolutely love Nicky Six and his photography, his artwork. So I had high hopes for this. Yeah, it fell a little bit short for me. It was just sex, drugs and rock and roll and not much else. So it only got 2 stars. The next one that I read was again for extra credit for Inscription class. And for this I read A River of Golden Bones by A.K. Mulford. I was in 2 minds about this one. There were parts that I liked and there were parts that just didn't vibe with me. So it did only get 3 stars. The next one that I read was for astronomy class and it was The Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen. It was a shorty. I wasn't sure whether I was going to get through my whole TBR this month, so I did pick up a shorty. And for me, it being a shorty, it just didn't delve in as much as I would have liked. But there were parts of it that I did enjoy, so 3 stars. The next one again was for extra credit, and this was Elemental Studies. For this, I picked up A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, and I can't believe it took me so long to pick this up. This was brilliant. I enjoyed the characters, I enjoyed the plot, I just enjoyed everything about this book, and I cannot wait to pick up the next one in the series. It got 5 stars. The next one was recommended to me by a friend, and I managed to get this on again for extra credit in Demonology. It was 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. This is all about time management, and usually when you're reading a self-help book, what I find is it waffles on and on and on, and then you get a little bit at the end that helps. This was pretty good all the way through. So for that reason, it did get 4 stars. The next one that I read was for a side quest. This was Law of the Wilds by Annalise Sabana. And for me, I had really high hopes for this one, but it didn't hit the way that I wanted it to. I didn't connect the characters all that well. I didn't connect the story. The story didn't go in the direction that I thought it would go. So for that, I only got 3 stars. The next one again was for a side quest, and for this I picked up The Hungry Dark by Jen Williams. I had an arc of this, so I needed to get to it sooner rather than later. And when reading the plot on the back of what this book actually entailed, it wasn't as suspenseful as I thought it would be. It wasn't what I thought it would be, so it did only get 3 stars. The next one that I read again was for a side quest, and it was Every Heart a Doorway by Joanne Maguire. For this, again, it didn't hit the way that I wanted it to. The characters just didn't draw me into this one like I hoped it would, so it only got 3 stars. The next one again was for a side quest. It was A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle. It read like a classic, and we know that I don't get along with classics, so for me, it did only get 2 stars. The next one that I read was for extra credit. It was for Restoration Class, and for this I picked up and reread Heartstopper Volume 1, and of course I loved it. I love the characters, I love the plot, I love the relationships. I eat this up. So for me, 5 stars. The next one that I read was for Alchemy Class. It was also this month's Wheel of Time book, so you know where this is going. We're in the slump. It was better than the last one. Winter's Heart by Robert Jordan. It was better than the last one, but there's still too much braid tugging for me and too much outfit changes for me. Just give us some plot. Give us something that actually happens in these books. 2 stars. Then the next 2 books were Heartstopper Volume 2 and Heartstopper Volume 3. Of course, for me, both of them got 5 stars. I cannot wait to pick up Heartstopper 4 in the coming days. I love these characters. I just want to be with these characters all the time. And 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. So that was everything that I read in the month of April. What do you think? I am happy that I passed all of my William classes. I also got in some extra credit and I passed the side quest. So I had a good time this month, and I cannot wait for August when we go back for the autumn semester. But yeah, that's everything that I read in April. So, as always, down in my description box you can find a link to all of my socials. Come give me a follow on Goodreads, on Instagram and on X. You can like this video, you can comment, and you can subscribe if you want to. Want to let me know you're here without actually talking to me? Give me the hands heart emoji for Heartstopper. And I will see you next time. Doodles.